The topic is electricity symbols. We'll be talking about the symbols which are required for your GCSE Physics paper, whether you're writing combined science or you're writing triple. They're required in both of the papers. So let's just get started. So the very first symbol that you can see on your screen is for a lamp, and it's a circle with a cross in it. So it's a lamp, a filament lamp. Sometimes you'll see the word filament or just lamp. This is a switch. A symbol for the switch is this. Now this one is for connecting or disconnecting a circuit, open switch, or sometimes you might also have a closed switch. So that would be your closed switch. This is a symbol, this is your cells, normal cells. But if you have a single cell, we call it cell. Now, there is a common thing in your daily life. We're used to calling these as batteries. But in physics, specifically in physics, when you have only one of these, then we call it as a cell. But if you have more than one, we combine them, then it is called battery. Now the symbol for battery, now because you don't know how many cells are there in a battery, for a battery, then we have a symbol, this. So this would be the symbol for the battery. Now a small knowledge point here, the bigger line shows the positive terminal of the battery and the smaller line shows the negative. So this is positive and the smaller one is negative. Now this 13 amps, this is a fuse. The symbol for the fuse is just a rectangle with a line going through it. Okay, so this is a symbol of a fuse. The purpose of a fuse is that it is used for the safety of the circuit. Now as you can see, this is a 13 ampere fuse. If the current in the circuit goes higher than 13 amperes, the fuse wire would burn and it would disconnect the circuit. So this one is like a 25 amp fuse. So this would be connected in a circuit in which 25 amp current is safe. So if the current goes above 25 amp, the wire of the fuse burns, disconnects the circuit. Now, on your right here, this is an ammeter. The purpose of an ammeter is that it measures current. Okay, now this is an important part of your GCSE Physics. So it measures current. And then this one here is a voltmeter. Simple, they're very simple, just a circle with a V. So it's a voltmeter which is used to measure potential difference. To measure potential difference. Okay, now obviously we'll be learning more about these in the coming videos. Now check your understanding, draw the symbols for all of these. If you have any trouble, pause the video and go back and check. Now these ones are all resistors. Now what's the purpose of a resistor? Resistor is used to limit the current in the circuit. Okay, so what it does is it reduces the current. Larger the resistance, less is the current in the circuit. So this one here is a fixed resistor. Each of these resistors would have a fixed value like 10 ohms or 20 ohms. Now ohms is the unit of resistance. Okay, just like meter is the unit of distance or kilograms is the unit of mass, ohms is the unit of resistance. So each of these is a fixed resistance, and a fixed resistance, the symbol is rectangle. Similar to fuse, but in a fuse a line runs through it, but this one is just a rectangle. Now this one here is a variable resistor. Now the variable resistor is, as the name suggests, it varies. So this one, if you might have done some practical in your school, you can just move this slider up and down. So when you move it, you change the resistance of this device. So that is why this is variable resistor, and it is drawn in the symbol form. You need to know these symbols for your GCSEs. So that's the symbol for a variable resistor. Now on your right here, this one, these lines that you see, they are a kind of a sensor which is used to, which depends on the light. So this is a light dependent resistor. Okay, this is a light dependent resistor, or for short form it's an LDR. See, this one is a variable resistor. You change the resistance by moving the slider. This one is a light dependent resistor. You change the resistance by shining lamp on it. So if it is a dark room, it will have a very high resistance. If it is a bright room, the resistance would automatically reduce. So the symbol for an LDR is again a resistor, and because it depends on the light, we kind of make two arrows that shows light dependent resistor. So just making a circle here too. So this is a light dependent resistor. This one here, the black one, is a temperature dependent resistor. A very hot room, the resistance would become less. So higher temperature, less resistance. A very cold room, resistance would be high. Okay, so these are some of the resistance which are used in the circuits at different places. But so far you just need to know what are different kind of resistances. Okay, so if I were to draw its symbol, it is also called as thermistor. So I'm just writing here. So it is, so thermistor is a temperature dependent resistor. LDR is a light dependent resistor. So if I draw the symbols again, as like all of the resistors, this is also rectangle, and this and this. Okay, so a temperature dependent resistor, a light dependent resistor, a fixed resistor which does not depend on anything. It will have a fixed value. Okay, a variable resistor, like mechanically you change it. Now the electrical component whose resistance depends on the temperature. Yes, you're absolutely right, thermistor. Now this one, it is a diode. And now diodes are specifically designed electrical pieces or instruments or devices. What they do here is they allow current only in one direction. Okay, more about diodes in the coming videos. So it allow current in only in one direction. So that is why, you know, physicists are very smart. That is why they make an arrow in the symbol. So what does this arrow tells you? The direction of the current. So that's a symbol for the diode. So kind of an arrow here. Now on the right you have the same diode, but this diode is a light emitting diode. So make a diode and then let the light come out of it. So this is a light emitting diode. Okay, so allows current only in one direction. Which electrical component allows current in one direction only? You are right, it is diode. Now this one is a motor, and the symbol for motor is just an M. A bell or a buzzer, something like this. Okay, now AC supply. So the current, you know, in your homes, when you switch on the current, that current is an AC supply, or an alternating current. Okay, so alternating current. And how do we show that the supply that we have is alternating? You just make two dots, and because the current is alternating, so that kind of an arrow, a changing current. And then The kind of current that you get from the cells or the batteries is direct current. This current does not change its direction. Alternating current continuously changes its direction. So this one, you just show as one end is positive, another is negative. So alternating current was, what is it? The current that continuously changes its direction. So current that changes its direction. So the current that we get in our home, it changes its direction 50 times. So 50 times every second. So no, not 50 times. It has 50, changes 100 times every second, and the direct current is the current that does not change its direction. It is constant. Okay, I'll just some of you might be very good at graphs. I'll just show you graph. What does that mean? The current that does not change its direction. Okay, that's your direct current. Now if I try to show you alternating current, positive and then negative in a graph, but if I show you the direct current, it's always constant, does not change. So this one is positive and negative. So that's your alternating current. Okay, so one difference between AC supply and DC supply: AC supply is constantly changing direction, DC supply does not change direction. So that's it for today. Some electrical symbols, and well done for watching. Thank you.